Hey everyone, welcome back to Cloud Architecture Interview Questions and Answers on Scenarios. I'm Arjun, and as always, I'm joined by Neha. Today, we're diving into something that's honestly at the heart of every DevOps success story, the CAMS framework. Neha, you ready?
Absolutely, Arjun. CAMS is one of those things that sounds simple, but when you really get into it, you realize how much it shapes everything we do in DevOps. Let's start with the C culture. I feel like people underestimate just how much trust and collaboration matter, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've seen teams with the fanciest tools, but if they're stuck in their own silos, nothing really moves. Actually, this reminds me of a fintech startup I mentored in Bangalore. They had these brilliant engineers, but everyone was working in their own little bubble. No one wanted to step on anyone else's toes.
Oh, I know that feeling. It's like you have all the right ingredients, but the recipe just isn't coming together.
Exactly. So, what we did was start daily stand ups. At first, people were a bit awkward, but over time, those quick check ins built trust. Folks started sharing blockers, asking for help, and suddenly the whole team was moving faster. It was wild to see how just talking openly every day broke down those walls.
That's such a good example. And I think, especially in cloud projects, shared responsibility gets overlooked. Like people assume, oh, that's the ops team's job or that's for the developers. But in DevOps, if you don't have everyone owning the outcome, you end up with finger pointing when things go wrong.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not just about avoiding blame, it's about building that sense of we're all in this together. When you get that right, the rest of camps just falls into place a lot easier.
So, moving on to automation. The A in CAMS. I can't tell you how many hours my last team saved just by automating our build and deployment pipelines. Before that, we were doing everything manually. And it was a mess. Lots of late nights, lots of, wait, did we deploy the right version? Moments.
Oh, I can relate. And it's not just about saving time, right? It's about reducing those human errors. I remember reading about this big e commerce company, can't remember the name, but they went from manual testing to automated tests, and their release failures dropped dramatically, like almost overnight.
Yeah, that's the thing. Automation isn't just a nice to have, it's essential if you want speed and reliability. But I get asked a lot, where do we even start? I usually say, automate the stuff that's repetitive and error-prone first. Builds, deployments, and tests. If you can get those on autopilot, you free up so much mental space for the team.
Totally agree. And, building on what we talked about in our last episode, like how we used automation for S3 deletion alerts, it's the same principle. Start with the things that give you the most bang for your buck. Then, as you mature, you can automate more complex workflows.
Exactly. And don't wait for things to be perfect before you start. Even small wins with automation can have a huge impact on team morale and reliability.
All right, so let's talk about measurement and sharing, the M and S in CAMS. I always say, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Metrics like MTTR, mean time to recovery, deployment frequency, and change failure rate, they're not just numbers. They're like your team's health check.
Yeah, and those metrics help you spot patterns. Like if your change failure rate is high, maybe your tests aren't catching enough issues. Or if your MTTR is long, maybe your incident response needs work. But it's not just about collecting data, it's about sharing what you learn.
Absolutely. I remember this one knowledge sharing session we did after a failed release. At first, everyone was a bit defensive, but once we started talking openly about what went wrong, it turned into this breakthrough moment. People realized, hey, we're all learning here. After that, communication just got so much better.
That's the power of transparency. When teams share, not just their wins, but also their failures and lessons, it breaks down barriers. Suddenly, innovation isn't just allowed, it's encouraged. And honestly, that's how you get from just doing DevOps to actually living it.
Couldn't agree more. And, as we wrap up, I think the big takeaway is that CAMS isn't just a checklist, it's a mindset. Culture, automation, measurement, sharing, they all feed into each other. If you get those right, DevOps maturity just follows.
Well said, Arjun. And for everyone listening, we'd love to hear your stories about CAMS in action. Drop us a message or connect with us online. We'll be back soon with more real-world cloud scenarios.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Neha, always a pleasure chatting with you.
Same here, Arjun. Take care, everyone, and see you next time.